It's March,
which means the madness begins. So in this video, I thought we'd count down the top 25 greatest moments in March Madness history. And that includes everything: buzzer beaters, upsets, and of course, outstanding performances. A full array of topics. So yeah, let's get this thing started. Number 25 for me is Chris Chiozza's run-in game-winning three-point buzzer beater to lift 4-seed Florida over 8-seed Wisconsin, sending the Gators to the Elite Eight in the 2017 tournament, only to lose to Cinderella story South Carolina.
Chiozza.
At number 24, I'm going to be slightly biased here and go with Michigan's excellent execution in the Houston-Michigan matchup in the 2018 tournament. And for any newcomers here, I'll accompany that with my actual reaction to that shot. Michigan would run the field from there until finally hitting the buzzsaw that was Villanova. They lost in the championship game, 79-62.
He rifles it right in front of us to Abdul Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole! A freshman has won it for the Wolverines!
At number 23, it's Jimmer time, baby. In March of 2011, a lot of excitement was built around March Madness as a whole, but maybe nothing was more intriguing than just how nasty Jimmer Fredette was. Leading up to the days of the tournament, Jimmer had broken the BYU scoring record previously held by Danny Ainge. And in the semifinals of the Mountain West Conference tournament, he scored 33 points in the first half against New Mexico and ended the game with 52 points. Jimmer was unquestionably sick with it against mid-major opponents, but the question was, could he do it against the big boys and with all the hype surrounded around him? His answer?
That was Dower. This is Fredette. Here's Fredette. Fredette for three.
There he goes. Wow, look at the legs. Look at the legs. Got that with 4 minutes left.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Fredette. Know where Fredette is.
Yes. Wow. Nice
Hard
cut.
sock. There's Fredette. But the contract.
Well, I thought he got an offensive foul. But that's his strength.
Fredette. 2 more.
At number 22, and occurring in 2015, who could forget Georgia State's thrilling upset victory over 3-seed Baylor? After a missed free throw by the Bears, Georgia State took the ball up court, messed around with it a little bit, and was questioned by the commentator as to what in the world they were doing. R.J. Hunter, the coach's son, answered with this.
Take it to the basket, guys. 9 seconds. No timeouts left. What are they doing? R.J. Hunter for 3. Good! Ron Hunter has fallen off his stool for good reason. Georgia State up by 1.
At number 21, we take it back to 1998, and bruh, can we just stay here? Cause I missed the 90s. For this one, longtime Piston and my boy Richard Hamilton buries the dagger against the 11-seed Washington Huskies in the Sweet 16. The sequence that led up to that final shot must have had UConn Husky fans all over the nation skipping heartbeats. They missed 2 previous attempts, and it was a long drawn-out process until Rip hit the dagger.
10 seconds remaining. Elamine off to Bosco. He was blessed. The shot wouldn't drop. Hamilton! No! Another tip! No! Hamilton off the buzzer! Yes! Connecticut wins!
At number 20, man oh man, in 2008 did we get introduced to Steph Curry out of little old Davidson College. In the first round as a 10 seed against 7-seeded Gonzaga, my man had 40 of his team's 82 points and 5 steals in an 82-76 victory. In the second round against Georgetown, he went off for 30 points and 5 assists against the 2 seed. Davidson pulled it out 74-70. The Wildcats then met the 3 seed Wisconsin Badgers, another W, this time in a big way, 73-56, off of 33 points from 11 of 22 shooting and 6 for 11 from behind the arc out of Curry. The Wildcats out of Davidson, North Carolina finally met their match in 1 seed and eventual national champion, Kansas. They lost 59-57. Curry had 25 points of those 57 points. You're about to see where he was guarded extremely tight in the waning moments of the contest. He ended up dishing it off to Jason Richards for the potential game winner. Richards was a very good 3-point shooter for Davidson, but looking back now at what Steph has become, he probably would have been better better off retreating to half court and shooting from there. At number 19, Sister Jean and the Loyola Chicago Ramblers had our full attention in the 2017 tournament. A tournament that began with 3 straight 1-point victories.
One timeout, they don't take it. Here comes the player of the year, the NBC rises. No timeouts for Tennessee. Bone rises. And the dream is alive.
Side out for Loyola Chicago. And now the foul. Oh, the clock ended. Did he get it off? No. That's the game.
The Ramblers then beat Kansas State 78-62 before finally falling to the Michigan Wolverines in the Final Four. Wow, what a run. I won't lie, I thought we were absolutely going to dominate Loyola Chicago in that particular game. To my surprise though, Cameron Krutwig and Clayton Custer wanted nothing to do with folding as an 11 seed against a 3 seed. The Ramblers ended the first half up 29-22 with good efforts out of those guys and with suffocating defense. The Wolverines went on to win the second half, 47-28 though, for a 69-57 victory. At number 18 and in 2016, give me Paul Jesperson's amazing half-court heave to win the game for Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa was an 11 seed and they defeated 6 seed Texas off of this prayer answered.
Take a timeout in this situation.
Jesperson, half-court heave for the win. Jesperson knows it. Northern Iowa wins it at the buzzer.
At number 17, and honestly one of the favorites on this list because it's one of the first March Madness memories I can actually recall, is Tyus Edney going coast to coast against Missouri to lay in the victory. They won that second round game 75-74, and how pivotal was it for Edney to hit that shot? They ended up winning the national championship, beating fellow 1 seed Arkansas.
One last try for the Bruins of UCLA to get into the Sweet 16. Knocked out last year in the first round by Tulsa. They don't want to lose this one. Edney going the distance.
For number 16, we're sticking with the 90s. We're gonna go with Bryce Drew's ridiculous 3-point buzzer beater to help 13 seed Valparaiso defeat 4 seed Mississippi in 1998. Some little tidbits about this ending: Valpo had actually missed on their last 3 possessions, including a previous good-looking 3-point opportunity for Drew on the last possession. After that miss, with just 4.1 seconds left, Valpo was forced to foul the rebounder. That rebounder happened to be Ansu Cisse, who was a second-team All-American player, but he didn't have his best effort in this one. At that moment in the game, he had shot just 4 for 13 and only had 11 points. Up 69-67, Cisse was in a double bonus, meaning he had 2 free throw shots. He missed both of them, which set up this moment that we'll remember forever.
The inbounds pass to be thrown by Jamie Sykes. Carter pressuring. It's to Jenkins, to Drew for the win! God! He did it! Bryce Drew did it! Has won the game! A miracle!
We're now entering the top 15, and at number 15, my boy Trey Burke rips the absolute spirit out of Jayhawk Nation. Down 72-62 after a dunk with 2 minutes and 53 seconds left in this Sweet 16 matchup of the 2013 tournament, the Wolverines seemed all but out in what was a good season. However, they strung together some points, got some defensive stops, and in the end, with 12.6 seconds left in the game, Elijah Johnson found himself on the line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. Johnson was 3 for 3 on free throws for the day. In fact, he had made 2 of those on the previous trip down the court. Let's reminisce on how things played out.
1-and-1, so a lot of pressure here on this first one. And goes too strong. 3-point game. Burke pulls it down. 5 seconds. Fires for 3. The game is tied. He's tied it.
God, do I love seeing that shot or what? Michigan would end up winning that game in overtime 87-85. They then would make it to the championship game where, like against Villanova, they eventually fell, this time 82-76 against Louisville. I'm definitely not bitter about that. But onward to number 14 we go, and for number 14, I think a lot of people forget about this play in the Elite 8 for the Virginia-Purdue matchup. It happened in 2019, the year the Cavs won the national championship. Had it not occurred, Virginia doesn't do the unthinkable, losing to the 16 seed as the only number 1 seed to do so the previous year, and then coming right back and winning it all. Here we go with that moment that left basketball fans everywhere, for better or for worse, breathless.
2-point game. Jerome. Short.
Back tap, Diakite, a race for it, into the hands of Clark, got a chance to win it here, up the front, here's Diakite for the win, for the tie!
Now, we've seen a lot of clutch shots and buzzer beaters, shots that make the opposing team fall to the floor and cry after the ball goes through the net. But for number 13, we show the opposite, and that is the almost but not quite clanked half-court shot by Gordon Hayward in the 2010 National Championship game for Butler against Duke. Just how close was this shot by Hayward? Well, according to Sports Science, 3 variables make up a shot: the launch angle, release velocity, and aim. According to the program, Hayward's 54-degree launch angle on the 46-foot heave was spot on. However, his release velocity would have needed to be half a mile an hour less, and his aim 3 inches to the left to have made the shot. Thus, had he changed the angle on the x-axis of his release by less than half a degree, or less than the width of the tip of a shoelace, the Bulldogs hoist the trophy, and Hayward is more of a Butler legend than what he already is. However, it wasn't meant to be. Rather, this was. At number 12, who could forget the magical run by 15 seed Florida Gulf Coast, aka Dunk City, in 2013. They remained the only 15 seed in history to reach the Sweet 16, defeating 2 seed Georgetown 78-68 in the first round of the tournament, and 7 seed San Diego State 81-71 in the second round. Guard Sherwood Brown scored 24 points against the Hoyas on 6 of 13 shooting, and fellow guard Bernard Thompson shot 5 for 13 for 23 points. Brett Comer earned himself a double-double with 12 points and 10 assists. He also had 6 rebounds. Dunk City, baby. Absolutely amazing. Real quick break here to let you know that you have the opportunity to beat myself and my co-host Phil in the bracket challenge this season here on this channel. The information to log in is on your screen right now. Have at it, it's going to be on ESPN. The winner gets a $50 gift card to the sports shop of your choice depending on what team you are a fan of. Good luck, you're gonna need it. At number 11, Super Mario. Mario Chalmers reaches maximum clutch baller levels as he soars up and hits the game-tying 3-point shot in the 2008 National Championship game against Memphis.
They must make one here to extend the game. Collins driving, almost lost the handle. Chalmers for the tie. Got it in 2 seconds. Unbelievable. Dozier at midcourt for the championship. No, we're going to overtime.
And now, the top 10. At number 10, give me the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers. They are the last team to go undefeated throughout the regular season and the tournament. They were 32-0. They defeated my Michigan Wolverines 86-68 in the national championship game, despite being down 35-29 at the half. For all you older subscribers out there, you'll remember that Bobby Wilkerson was out early with a concussion. I don't recall that, I wasn't alive, I just saw it when I was doing my research. Scott May that season was both the Big Ten and National Player of the Year. Bob Knight was the Big Ten Coach of the Year, and Kent Benson was the National Championship Game's most outstanding player, scoring 25 points. May added 26 that night, and Quinn Buckner added 16. The Hoosiers flaunted 3 All-Americans that season, and Bob Knight was in just his 5th year as coach. At number 9, you gotta go with Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson. Indiana State versus Michigan State in the 1979 National Championship Game. I mean, this is really when the legendary rivalry was born. And while I wasn't alive for this game and I can't remember the Lakers versus Celtics, Johnson versus Bird rivalry as a whole, I certainly have seen the clip. In this particular matchup, Bird didn't necessarily have his best game. He went 7 of 21 for 19 points. Magic, on the other hand, a little bit more efficient. He went 8 of 15 for 24 points. But hey, give Larry a break. He played for the Sycamores out of Terre Haute, Indiana. To get to the championship game, Bird and company defeated 8 seed Virginia Tech, 5 seed Oklahoma, 2 seed Arkansas, and 2 seed DePaul. In the end, Sparty was a bit too much for them, but I think it's safe to say that Larry got some revenge on Magic in 1981, 1984, and 1986. Man, I would have loved to have seen those two gentlemen square up. At number 8, I hate to do this to myself, but give me Chris Webber and his decision to take a timeout when he didn't have any left in the 1993 National Championship game against North Carolina. A couple things here. 1, my guy walked from the start, so there shouldn't even be what ifs or buts or any of the sort. 2, we were down at the time, so who's to say that we were going to make a shot to tie the game or take the lead anyways? Who's to say that we wouldn't have left time on the clock for North Carolina to have an opportunity to win the game of their own? And who's to say that North Carolina wouldn't have just won in overtime anyways had it gone to overtime? Look, in big moments like these, there's going to be clutch moments and there's going to be, well, the opposite. That's what makes college basketball so wonderful, even when they try to screw it up, like when the Michigan State Spartans want to be the Michigan State Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage. Here's Chris Webber being a human being and making a mistake in an extremely amplified situation.
Long, a 2 to tie. Michigan will have to bring it.
Oh, he walked and the referee missed it.
Weber brings it into the front court. They have no timeouts remaining.
Oh, he causes too many timeouts. That's a technical foul.
He called a timeout. Michigan doesn't have any.
He got by with a walk, and Jimmy calls a he calls a timeout. He doesn't realize that's Michigan's too many, and so it'll be a technical foul. North Carolina shooting and the ball. A huge mental mistake.
At number 7, the execution out of Villanova on this particular play to top North Carolina in the 2016 National Championship game was
4.7 seconds. Villanova trying to go length of the court with Archie Diacono. 3 seconds at midcourt.
Jenkins
gives it to Jenkins for the championship. Champions with Jenkins hitting the winner at the buzzer.
At number 6, history is made in 2018 when the UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, Retrievers defeated the Virginia Cavaliers in the first and only 16-over-1 seed upset. 2 awesome things about this game. 1, they didn't just upset the Cavs, they kind of obliterated them. With 15 minutes left in the game, the Retrievers took a 41-27 lead and things seemed very interesting, but I think we were all waiting for Virginia to make a run and the efforts to be all for naught. In the past, that is typically what happens in these situations. To our surprise though, that run never came. UMBC remained in control and eventually won big, 74-54. My guy Jairus Lyles will remain legendary for his 9 for 11, 28-point performance. Unfortunately, the Retrievers would go cold in the second round against Kansas State, losing 43-50. The second awesome thing about this moment, I was there, so I get to say that I saw the only 16-over-1 seed upset in NCAA history. Yay me! At number 5, the GOAT is born, and we ain't talking LeBron. Michael Jordan, a freshman at the University of North Carolina, hits what would eventually become the game winner against the Patrick Ewing-led Georgetown Hoyas in the 1982 National Championship game.
The time, 18. Shot, Jordan, Michael Jordan, 14 seconds. Brown. Look for Sleepy Floyd. Oh, he threw it to the wrong man. He threw it to Worthy. It's over. It's over.
Alright, let's see what kind of March Madness memory you guys have. There's 4 more spots left, 4 more great moments. Pause the video, let me know what they are below in order, and let's see if you get it right. I mean, you basically have to be reading my mind. It's not like I'm the right one here, but let's see if you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Okay, let's get to it. The final 4, baby. At number 4, in the very next season, in the 1983 National Championship game, Jimmy V can't find anyone to hug. In the championship game, his North Carolina State Wolfpack pull off the upset over a heavy favorite Houston Cougar team. The Houston Cougars had Michael Young, Clyde Drexler, and Hakeem Olajuwon leading the way. But unfortunately for them, they went into the locker room down 33-25, much in part because Clyde Drexler got in foul trouble in the first half. Furthermore, they were playing in the Mile High city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Hakeem Olajuwon could not adjust well. He was tiring frequently, he had to be checked in and checked out, on the bench, off the bench, on the bench, off the bench, and wearing an oxygen mask all along the way. Even with all the issues going on, Houston still led in the waning moments of the game until this happened, and the image of Jimmy V running around celebrating lived in our heads and hearts for eternity.
Almost stolen by Drexler. Boy, is he good at that.
They've got to drive to the basket. It's down to 7 seconds.
You can see the time. Wittenberg. Oh, that's a long ways.
They won it.
I believe in dreams, Jimmy V said to his team. You know who else believed in dreams? The 2006 George Mason Patriots, owners of our number 3 greatest moment slot. Now, this is not meant to disrespect Loyola Chicago's run mentioned earlier. It was without a doubt one to remember, but this run from Jim Larrañaga and George Mason, it may never be duplicated again from a double-digit tournament seed. They literally beat 3 huge names along the way, took down 6 seed Michigan State in round 1, 75-65, eliminated the 3 seed North Carolina Tar Heels next, 65-60, axed the 7 seed Wichita State Shockers 63-55 in the Sweet 16, and crushed the spirits of the 1 seed UConn Huskies in the Elite 8, 86-84 in overtime. They eventually met their match against another 1 seed and champion that year, the Florida Gators. But the run up to that point will be etched in my heart and you can't take it from me. At number 2, the Texas Western Miners in the 1966 season as champions. Now known as UTEP, the University of Texas El Paso, the Miners made history, becoming the first team with an all-black starting lineup to take it home. Texas Western lost one game that season, 74-72 to Seattle. They defeated Coach Rupp and the Kentucky Wildcats 72-65 in the season finale, a squad that was 27-1 headed into the championship game. For you younger watchers out there, if you haven't seen Glory Road, please watch it. And the number 1 greatest moment in March Madness history, in my mind, belongs to Grant Hill and Christian Laettner. This particular play is literally what comes to mind when I hear the words March and Madness bunched together. It was just unreal execution against a really good Kentucky team, and it was super necessary as Duke would go on to win the national championship that season. Here's the Duke Blue Devils drawing up and pulling off the unthinkable in 1992.
You know, one of the things I've seen Duke do in the past in situations like this is try for the quick pass to half court and call a quick timeout so they can get in better shooting range.
There's the pass to Laettner. Puts it up. Yes!
So there you have it, the 25 greatest moments in March Madness history. The buzzer beaters, upsets, and more that live right here and right here. Will the 2021 tourney have those kind of moments? One can only hope. We'll be streaming and reacting live to the madness. We hope to see you there. It's going to be awesome. And finally, if you did enjoy that video and you love March Madness, man, we'd appreciate it greatly if you helped us out in the YouTube rankings by giving this video a like. The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star.